Ve şimdi sırada çok önemli bir hayat hikayesi var. Böyle ilham alacağımız bir hayat hikayesi, bir yaşam öyküsü.
Evet. Toplumsal cinsiyet eşitliği mücadelesine bireylerin attığı cesur adımları bazen köklü değişimler öncülük ediyor. Bu oturumda değişimin nasıl mümkün olduğunu bizzat değişimin kendisinden, ağzından dinleyeceğiz.
Evet, toplumsal cinsiyet eşitliği yolculuğu kişisel cesaretle başlar ve çevremizdeki dünyayı dönüştürür. Bugün burada bu dönüşümün en güzel örneklerinden biri. CIS'in kurucusu Joanna Bacallo'nun hikayesinde bakalım anlayacak mıyız? Evet.
Evet, öğle yemeğinden önceki son etkinliğimiz efendim.
Kendisi eskiden hostesti Joanna'nın ve Brüksel'den konferansımıza katılım sağladı. Onun hikayesi de bize dönüşümün, değişimin ne kadar mümkün olduğunu kanıtlayacak. İstersen davet edelim.
Evet,
Alkışlarımızla
lütfen.
ilham veren bu
Alkışlarımızla.
hikayeyi birlikte dinleyelim.
My office is 40,000 feet up the sky. I travel far and wide and to the remotest places on Earth. It is definitely easy to romanticize the stereotypical glamour and adventure around my life as an airline hostess. Culture exploration and discovery come easy with the job. One day I can be in the coldest country seeing snow by my window. The next day, it will be a destination by the sea. These experiences are rather polarizing as it enable me to see those beautiful places you see in a postcard and also immerse in those places where different types of poverty exist. As I travel more over the years, I have developed a certain unique interest into studying water and the many roles it plays into our human lives. But my growing desire to learn about the topics of water and wash has challenged me to witness the lives of the local population who experience water scarcity and discomfort. My excitement, first-hand education through travel experiences turned my movement into traveling with a purpose. With goal number 6 of the United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goal, ensuring access to water and sanitation for all, as my compass, I went back to my home country, the Philippines, and shared these knowledge with the intention to effect positive change. I paid attention to the remotest, most vulnerable indigenous communities and penetrated them through elementary schools.
Good morning, we're in Mount Pulag Elementary School and these are my children, these are my students, and I was able to teach them basic hand washing.
Individuals and organizations alike resonate to the cause despite coming from different advocacies. In our community work, building partnerships with individual initiatives and other key players are diverse and dynamic. Informed and open-minded decision makers working together with local government units can support water investments. Education-centered organizations like Classrooms ng Pag-asa, the Storytelling Project, and One Portrait brought about different dimensions and color to each programs. NGO partners such as Wimler Foundation Hong Kong and the Philippines set foundation for groundwork, and celebrated companies like Art Dubai fueled each project by believing in the potential of growth. By advocating awareness about the impact of lack of water, sanitation, inadequate access to wash services that are direct linked to diarrhea and cholera, I found myself telling stories outside their community. The remote villages I have visited are only a minute part of the 4.5 billion people who drew water from threatened supply. Diarrhea is an effect of poor sanitation and hygiene and is still the world's number 5 leading cause of death despite the nature that it can be avoided. Behavior change is a challenge to improve hygiene. The teachers are the catalyst to this change. Through the school, there's an open dialogue between communities and families to approach sanitation and end open defecation and even eliminate the stigma of menstruation. We are able to affect their school curriculum in health promotion. Water cuts across health issues, the environment, energy and agriculture, but also about poverty, gender, and human rights. There is a massive gender dimension in water as women mostly lack ownership and rights to water. When women take part in the water decision-making, sustainability is ensured, and as we know, they don't only empower their families but the whole community or tribe. Micro-entrepreneurship can empower displaced households, and women implement the tools to grassroots solutions to global problems. Whatever industry we participate or work for, we are in a position to disrupt and contribute to solutions to these global issues. I strongly encourage everyone to put women and children in the forward of the agenda for development. The life that flows everywhere is water. No one should be left behind.
So today in this session we're going to hear about a story of a change maker, the story of Jonah. Jonah, I'm honored to welcome you here. Welcome to Turkey, welcome to Istanbul, welcome to our conference. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And thank you for giving the space to share stories. And I'm super excited to be here because I love your food.
Yes, okay. I'd like to start with our story first. Really, I'm so excited to share your story, but first allow me to tell about how we met. Dear friends, Joanna is, as you see, originally from the Philippines, and she is now based in Brussels, which is one of my favorite cities. And she came all the way from Brussels to here for our conference. Thank you so much. And our meeting story is quite special. I'd like to share with you today. In March 2024, a group of women, 20 women, met in Washington, D.C. in the United States, thanks to Vital Voices Global Partnership. You can see the logo there. What is Vital Voices? Let me explain you. Vital Voices is a non-profit organization which is founded by nearly 30 years ago by Hillary Clinton, Madeleine Albright, and Alice Nielsen. They are supporting the women all over the world, from every corner of the world, who are taking on world's greatest challenges, actually. So they brought us together for this special meeting, a summit in DC, 8 months ago. And we met there, and we formed a unique and enduring bond within our group. Mm-hmm. And we, after that time, it never stopped. We always communicate, share, celebrate, and inspire each other. And Joanna is one of them, one of my sisters. So 2 months ago, she called me and told me that, Selen, I'm coming to Istanbul and would like to see you. Then I told her that, okay, come and let's see each other on the stage. We are planning a conference and you should be there. My friends also should meet you. So, dear Jo, you're a visionary leader, you're a change maker, you're a water stewardship, you're a water girl. Let's begin by getting to know you better. How did it all start? Mm-hmm. What inspired you to be a volunteer of community? Mm-hmm. What was your driving force?
I do hope that the video presentation that we showed you gave you a bit of an idea of what my crazy world looked like before. So that was quite a few years ago. But my driving force right now is actually championing learners of different kinds, different backgrounds, to have access to clean water, sanitation, hygiene, which also include menstrual health hygiene, which is a topic that I'm very passionate about, but not many communities talk about because it's still a taboo. But if we think about it, going to communities, we can inspire them to be advocates of their water and natural resources, because at the end of the day, they're going to inherit this problem, most especially their environment. I went on to education, environment education, because I believe, and I saw it on my travels, that the most sustainable way to affect a community is through education. So that was my driving force. But my formal education was international business and entrepreneurial management in the Philippines. But I found my first love in aviation, so I went to become an air hostess for a very long time. I traveled everywhere. I've been to this city so many times. And I thought that I saw so many different realities. For example, one day, as I said in the video, I'm in a place where you can drink water. The next day, I'm in a place where there is no toilet. So I saw the lens of life with water. Don't ask me, it was from my backpacking trips and my travel. So this is what being an air hostess gave me, and it hit a mark on me, and that's why it's super important to tell where I started, because I was not a community worker before.
Yeah. So what I hear you from is you can be anyone, you know, a nurse, an air hostess, an entrepreneur, or a teacher, but you can choose something meaningful for life and for people, for your community. And the community shouldn't be so wide and big. It can be your neighbors, your friends, or anything, your school. So starting from something, you have some advantages. Yeah, you were an air hostess and visiting the world all over the world, but we may also have some disadvantages in this road. So it's important to know that we can still advocate for something. Thank you for sharing that. So let me ask you a second question. From your approach, can you, what is the path of advocacy? Can you give us a formula, a recipe to make advocacy for all of us?
Well, I guess that we have to find our own path and create it, discover it. But in what I have experienced, it is only through the path of curiosity. I'm not sure if you've heard this many times before, but curiosity for me is not a verb or an action to go forward, but to actually go back. By asking questions, by inspiring curiosity, deliberately practicing it every day, you actually remove yourself from judgment. And I say that because most of the communities that I go to are not from my religious background, not my socioeconomic background, not even sometimes welcome because you're a woman, you're unmarried, and you talk with sometimes the chieftain of the community. So there would be a lot of challenges, but you approach them with curiosity, asking questions, means building trust. It's not about, I'm here to help you and change your life, but it's more of, what can we do together as partners? I think that's a good formula that worked for me.
Oh, thank you. Curiosity is the key, right? And inspired curiosity. Sometimes we forget it. And yeah, I hear such profound recommendations from you. Thank you. And so you tell us that go out and do something. Go out, do something, and take action. And with curiosity and without judgment to the community. So the final question, the third one. Taking action is so important, right? So can you wrap up this session by giving us some final words of wisdom? And can you recommend us a new routine today so that we can apply tomorrow or even maybe today after this conference? Yeah, a second recipe, a call to action, actually.
Well, it's always, I'm always very whenever I get invited to a conference, most especially with young people, the organizers are always tense because I always tell the young people, go out of your hometown, go travel, go to your next town. Ask them, how do they live? How come that they eat this way? Maybe I should try. Be curious. And then once you have all of those factors of understanding, go back to your community, your families. This is the first step to actually peace. And I see the world with the lens of water. So I'm sure you're going to find your own path too. May it be fashion, may it be engineering or architecture. But remember to always go back to your communities, your small communities, your country. And you can only do this by getting different perspectives from different people. You cannot live alone. You cannot live only on social media. We have a world out there to discover. And again, this is the greatest path to understanding. As the world, Selene, as we know, is very conflicted right now. Let's not contribute anymore.
Yeah, that's true. We didn't plan this, but I'd like to ask you, because you mentioned fashion.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you about your top.
Well, actually, this was made by the indigenous communities I visit. And maybe I can add up to that because every time that I speak and represent them, they told me, but you are not, for example, you are not Muslim or you are not from the indigenous community. Why are you wearing their clothes? But do I have to be part of who they are and believe what they believe in order to advocate for water rights for them? I don't think so. So people will say whatever they want to say, but do it anyways because you have to stay kind, true, and authentic to yourself. So, yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Do it anyways. Do it anyways. Yeah. Thank you, Jo. It's really inspiring. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for calling me. And thank you for calling me your sister. Thanks for all your efforts for making the world a better place. Thank you. So, dear friends, I'd like to conclude this session by reflecting a special moment Jo and I shared in DC. Our wonderful program director, Zoe Dean-Smith, just read a poem to us in the program. It was a morning session, and we were like, ready to the lesson, and she came into the room and told us that, hey girls, I'd like to share a poem with you. Oh, we were shocked. Please close your eyes, she told us. And yeah, it was surprising. And now I'd like to share a short stanza with you, short part of this poem. The name of the poem is Invitation. The Invitation by Oriah Mountain Dreamer, an American writer. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for. And if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dreams, for the adventure of being alive. Dear guests, we have listened to the story of Joanna, a change maker, a pioneer of change. Thank you for making all of us a part of your journey, Joanna. Thank you.
Teşekkür ederim.
Let me hug you.
Thank you, Selene.
Welcome. Thanks a lot. So,
Thank you, Selene. Thank you, guys.
Çok teşekkür ederiz efendim.
teşekkür ederiz.
Thank you.
Evet, sevgili Selen Okay Akçalı'ya ve Joanna Bakala'ya gönülden teşekkür ediyoruz. Gerçekten de bireylerin attığı cesur adımların toplumsal değişime nasıl öncülük ettiğini bir kez daha dinlemiş olduk.